children will continue with problems based on inverse proportion. Exercise 13.2 from question 4 onwards. If a box of sweets is divided among 24 children, they will get 5 sweets each. How many would each get if the number of children is reduced by 4? So there are 24 children, okay? Now 24 children gets 5 sweets each. Now the number has been reduced by 4. So from 24, if I reduce 4, I will get 20 children. Then how many sweets each child will get is the question. I hope the question is clear to you. As the number of children decreases, there will be increase in the number of sweets. So if one quantity decreases, other quantity increases. Which type of proportion it will be? It will be inverse proportion. And in an inverse proportion, the product of the quantities remains constant. So I can represent this with the help of a table. Number of children. How many children are there totally? 24 children are there. Number of sweets. Each child will get 5 sweets. Now, how many would each get if the number of children is reduced by 4? 24 minus 4 equals. Now, there are 20 children. How many sweets will these 20 children, each person get? So, that is an unknown quantity. We need to find that. So, let x be the number of sweets each child get. Then, this is an inverse proportion. For an inverse proportion, product remains constant. So 24 into 5 is same as 20 into x. Therefore, x equals 24 into 5 by 20. 5 goes in 20 4 times. 4 goes in 24 6 times. So 6 sweets. So 20 children will get how many sweets each? 6 sweets each. I hope the question and the method is clear to all. Next question. A farmer has enough food to feed 20 animals in his cattle for 6 days. There are 20 animals. The food for 20 animals remain 6 days. How long the food lasts if there were 10 more animals in his cattle? 10 more means there were initially 20, 10 more means 30. If there were 30 animals, for how many days the food will last? Is the question clear? For 20 animals, food will last for 6 days. If more animals are there, for how many days the food will last? When that number of animals increases, the number of days will decrease. This also we can represent with the help of a table and we can do the problem. Number of animals. 20 animals, the food lasts for 6 days. Now 10 more animals have joined. So total how many animals are there now? For 30 animals, for how many days the food will last? So let x, you can take any variable, I am taking it as x here. Let x be the number of days, then it's an inverse proportion, and for an inverse proportion the product will be constant. So 120 is equal to 30x. Therefore, x equals 120 by 30. 4 days. So for 30 animals, the food will last for how many days? 4 days. When one quantity increases, the other quantity decreases. As the number of animals increases, the number of days the food lasts will decrease. And here it will be 4 days. A contractor estimates that 3 persons could rewire Jasminder's house in 4 days. If he uses 4 persons instead of 3, how long should they take to complete the job? 3 persons requires 4 days. Okay. Now, if he uses 4 persons, then for how many days time will take to complete the job? As the number of workers increases, the number of days will decrease. So, it is an inverse proportion. So, contractor estimates 3 persons to complete the work in 4 days. Then what does he do? Instead of 3, now he uses 4 people. Then the number of days required to complete the work is how much? I am going to take this as y. So, number of days equals y. As one quantity increases, other quantity decreases. So, it is an inverse proportion. 3 into 4 is equal to 4 into y. Therefore, y equals 12 by 4, 3 days. So, if there are 4 people to work, then within 3 days the work can be completed. Next question. A batch of bottles was packed in 25 boxes with 12 bottles in each box. If the same batch is packed using 20 bottles, how many boxes would be filled? So, there are 25 boxes, each box contains 12 bottles. If the same batch is packed using 20 bottles, how many boxes are required? So, as the bottles are increased in a box, the number of boxes will decrease. So, it is an inverse proportion, and we can write all these informations in a table and we can find out. Number of boxes. If there were 25 boxes, each box contained 12 bottles. If the same batch is packed using 20 bottles, how many such boxes would be filled? So, let A be the number of boxes. 25 into 12 equals 20 into A. So, what is A? 25 into 12 by 20. 5 goes in 25 5 times, 4 times. So, if in each box 20 bottles are there, how many boxes are required? 15 boxes are required. Then, 10th question. 2 persons could fit new windows in a house in 3 days. There are 2 subdivisions there. One person fell ill. How long would the job take now? Second subdivision. How many persons would be needed to fit the windows in 1 day? So, 2 persons are required to fit a new window. For how many days? 3 days. Again, whenever a problem of this type comes, draw a table and then you can write it. Number of persons. 2 persons are required to fit a window for 3 days. But 1 person fell ill. When 1 person fell ill, how many persons are there now? There is only 1 person. 1 person fell ill. How long would the job take now? So, what is the, or how many days, or within how many days the work can be completed if there is only 1 person? Second subdivision. How many persons would be needed to fit the window in 1 day? in one day, how many persons are required to complete the work? You know that as the number of persons increases, the number of days will be decreasing. So, it is an inverse proportion. So, they have said basically 2 persons are required to complete the work in 3 days, but 1 person got ill. So, how many people are there now? There is only 1 person to do the job. If there is only 1 person to do the job, how many days will it take to complete the work? So, 2 into 3 is equal to 1 into, I am going to take this as x and this as y. So, let x be the number of days, 1 into x, 6 is equal to x. Therefore, x equals 6 days. So, if there is only 1 person, he will take 6 days to complete the work. Okay? Then, they have said you need to find how many person if the work is completed in 1 day. 2 into 3 equals 1 into y. Therefore, 6 is equal to y. Therefore, y is equal to 6 persons. So, in 1 day, 6 persons are required to complete the work, and if 1 person is there, it takes 6 days to complete the work. Okay? Next question, 11th one. A school has 8 periods each of 45 minutes. How long would each period be if the school has 9 periods? So, number of periods and time given in minutes. A school has 8 periods of 45 minutes each. How long would each period be if the school has 9 periods? So, let the time be x. Then they have said 8 periods, each period takes 45 minutes. So, as the number of periods in a school increases, the time decreases. One quantity increase, number of periods increases, time decreases. Inverse proportion. If it is inverse proportion, product remains constant. Therefore, x equals 8 into 45 by 9. 9 goes in 45 5 times. So, x will be 40 minutes. So, what will be the time duration if there are 9 periods? It will be 40 minutes. Question number 8 and question number 9 are your homework questions. So, in this chapter basically we are learning about direct and inverse proportion. What is meant by a direct proportion? If one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. If one quantity decreases, the other quantity also decreases, and the ratio of both the quantities will be same. But in the case of inverse proportion, if one quantity increases, the other quantity decreases, and the product remains constant. Okay? Please do the homework, question number 8 and question number 9.